According to Southern Living magazine, Oxford can boast being one of the best college towns.
Coming up, NewsWatch reporter Brianna Bynum reveals how many of the historic attractions around town help to make the city special.
Good evening, and thank you for tuning into NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Grace McClanahan.
And I'm Annabeth Polakovich.
Ole Miss's South Oxford Center at the Old Baptist Hospital has welcomed its first guests.
NewsWatch reporter Annie Mapp got one of the first tours of the old hospital.
The University of Mississippi's South Oxford Center is up and running with organizations moving in. The first university organization to move in was the Counselor Education Clinic for Outreach and Personal Enrichment, or COPE. That is an organization that focuses on mental health and school counseling for children, adults, and families. Originally at Insight Park, Clinical Director Alexandra Kernam said the new move has given them more space.
We love it. You know, it's quiet, like you said. It's a bigger space. It's like this space was built for us because we have a break room where we had our fridge in the closet over at Insight Park. There's just enough offices for all of us. We have enough counseling rooms, we have the playrooms, and then we have a big office or a big room at the end of the hall for our conference room.
COPE isn't the only organization that has moved into the old hospital. Living Blues magazine is also calling the hospital home. Publications manager for the magazine, Melanie Young, says they were previously located on the 4th and 5th floors of Lamar Hall, but they are looking forward to taking advantage of what the old hospital offers.
You know, we're very happy to be over here because we have all of our on-campus, operations and office space and storage space all in one location. And I'm going to be very interested to see, how the building itself progresses over time and all of the different things that they've got planned for this space.
The university purchased the old 485,000 square foot hospital back in June 2017, but it officially took over this past March. The building is aiming to have the remaining 7 tenants move in the hospital by January. Annie Mapp, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
The university bought the old hospital for $22 million. Each year, the university releases its official enrollment numbers, and this year's numbers show a change many didn't want to see. NewsWatch reporter Turner St. Romain breaks down those numbers and shows us that the out-of-state student population is growing.
The university released its official enrollment numbers last week, and compared to last year, enrollment is down by over 2%. Despite the decrease in enrollment, Ole Miss welcomed a freshman class of nearly 3,500 students. This is the 4th largest student body the university has ever had. Associate Director of Admissions Martin Fisher says that the Office of Admissions and our campus partners work tirelessly to share the unique opportunities available at the University of Mississippi so that more students will apply and ultimately choose to enroll.
With 60% of the Ole Miss student population being from in-state here in Mississippi, 40% are from out-of-state, with most of them being from Texas.
Texas student Amanda Hirschfeld says Ole Miss offered her an opportunity to show who she really is.
I wanted to get away from all of the high school drama or people, because in high school it's kind of like nobody really saw who I really was, except for very few select people. And so I came here and I was immediately welcome, immediately felt like I could be myself.
But for Illinois student Taylor Parks, scholarships played a big role as to why she went out of state.
Yeah, for me, compared to other students, going out of state was cheaper. I know for other friends of mine, they also went out of state because it ended up just being cheaper with the scholarships they offered.
Even though enrollment has dropped by more than 500 students this year, the Chronicle of Higher Education ranks Ole Miss amongst the fastest growing universities in the country. Turner St. Romain, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
The top 5 states students are from this year are Mississippi, Texas, Tennessee, Georgia, and Illinois.
The Alabama game last weekend brought a lot of out-of-town visitors to Oxford. Local taxi services like Uber felt the surge of extra people. NewsWatch reporter Kristen Bentley has more.
Thanks, Annabeth. That's right. There were so many football fans in town last weekend, and the difficulty of getting a ride home after the big game captured a lot of attention. Today, I talked to both riders and drivers affected by the crowd.
Football season always brings more business to Oxford, but the Ole Miss-Alabama game this past weekend brought an even larger crowd than usual. Junior Kelsey Smith shared the experience she had this weekend with limited car availability and how she thinks this issue could be avoided in the future.
I had a lot of people staying with me this weekend, and when we would try and leave the square, we had to wait about 2 hours for an Uber. Usually it's no problem to get an Uber off the square. They're always there. There's a bunch of them. But for some reason this weekend, it would say on the app there were no cars available ever. Obviously the solution is more Uber drivers, or maybe increasing Uber costs.
Uber driver Michelle Shad, more commonly known on campus and around town as the best Uber ever Ole Miss, shared her side of the story as a driver.
So I've never driven a football season before. I have no idea what to expect. There's a problem with the app that we have repeatedly called Uber and complained about. I noticed that ever since Uber launched Uber Eats here in town, there's been an issue with the app. Maybe they fixed it for this weekend. I have no way of knowing. I am so frustrated that the students are not able to catch the rides. And with the lockdown on Jackson leaving, I mean, I was stuck on Jackson for 45 minutes.
Uber has not gotten back to Michelle or any other drivers that have made the complaints about the issues, but most riders and drivers in Oxford would agree that the problem needs to be resolved as soon as possible.
Hopefully Uber can come up with a solution for this issue before the upcoming game against Kent State on Saturday. We'll keep you updated on this story. Back to you guys at the desk.
Football, Roanoke, and the Square. A few things that helped Oxford land the title, one of the South's best college towns, from a well-known magazine. NewsWatch reporter Brianna Bynum shows us why some think Oxford landed the title.
Just this week, Southern Living magazine named Oxford among the 20 best college towns in the South. Freshman Abigail Hand says it's the friendly atmosphere that makes Oxford stand out.
I think it's just the atmosphere, because down here everyone's like really friendly. And like you can always talk to people.
Oxford has been in numerous best college town lists, and Lily Pad store manager Stephanie Kennedy says this consistent recognition has helped her business.
It's brought people in here. They love to shop, and we get phone calls all the time, wanting different items, and it's really done a lot of good for our business.
Kennedy says Southern hospitality is the reason visitors often return to Oxford.
When you walk down the sidewalk or you walk around the square, everybody's talking to each other. Hey, how are you? And it's the Southern culture that I think brings a lot of people to Oxford.
Square Books is a business that was mentioned in the article, and owner Richard Howard says Oxford is a historic town, and that makes it easy to love.
A lot of its historic features remain present. The square is considered to be an interesting and charming place, and it's a lively commercial district.
Howard says the close-knit nature of the community helps businesses thrive, another reason he feels Oxford is a great college town.
Always had incredible support from the town and from the university and the many people that come through here, so we've been able to continue to grow.
Oxford doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon as this small town makes big news. Brianna Bynum, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
To be considered one of the South's best college towns, the population must be under 200,000 with a lively local scene and a dose of Southern charm.
Homecoming elections happened yesterday, but Business Row won't be clear just yet. The winners of Campus Favorites and Homecoming Queen were announced last night, but there will be a runoff for Mr. and Miss Ole Miss tomorrow. Hallie Gillum is this year's Homecoming Queen after running unopposed. Jessica Tran and Jessie Lockett will go head-to-head in the Miss Ole Miss runoff, and Mikhail Love and Chauncey Mullins will face off for Mr. Ole Miss. Over 5,000 votes were cast in this year's elections.
The University of Mississippi previously set its dates and plans for the observation of Hispanic Heritage Month. The 4-week celebration began Friday with a film and ends on October 18th with another film. A kickoff event was also held Monday in the Triplet Alumni Center. The month will feature a variety of interactive events and discussions that will celebrate Hispanic heritage and culture. The upcoming month will feature several panel discussions, film series, and book readings. All events will celebrate Hispanic heritage and culture and will be free and open to the public.
The mental and physical well-being of students is a major concern for the university.
NewsWatch reporter Kira Bedanecci shows us how some organizations around Oxford came together today to promote health and fitness.
The Health Fair is an annual event that takes place on the Ole Miss campus. With flu season in full swing, many different health and wellness organizations gathered today to share their knowledge on health and ways to prevent getting sick. Event coordinator Taja Herford thinks this is a great resource for students.
Students can know about the different resources that are available to them if they do have some sort of health concern or they just want to know more about a particular area of wellness. They have these resources available to them and they're always willing to help students.
Smoothie King is one of the organizations in attendance and has been a familiar face at the health fair for 3 consecutive years. General Manager Keith Evans thinks this is an educational time for not only the students, but the company as well.
Plays, I know a lot of times people think we just have yogurt or ice cream, but to be able to kind of educate people more about what we offer has always been, just the general exposure has been great for us as well.
Participants at the health fair are given this punch card, and after visiting at least 6 booths, they get to come to the Smoothie King tent for a free smoothie. Although this fair can help boost awareness of some health-related companies around Oxford, the workers behind the booths care the most about helping the students.
What I really like is seeing a lot of people who don't come in the store, and so having the opportunity to talk to those folks. But yeah, it's absolutely been beneficial for us, as a 100% beneficial. We love every opportunity to get on campus and do something health-related.
The fair may be only a one-day event, but that doesn't mean it's the only day to practice a healthy lifestyle. So be sure to head outside, get your flu shots, and stay healthy. Kira Beninecci, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Coming up, we'll have the latest on President Trump's visit to the Carolinas and how the federal government plans to help rebuild after Hurricane Florence.
And stay tuned to see which band may be performing at the Super Bowl and why they might have people moving like Jagger. But first, Cameron Sidley has your first look at the current conditions.
Hey Rebels, happy Wednesday. As we take a look at our current weather headlines, you can see we're going to have high temperatures all week, high humidity, and we will see some thunderstorms this weekend and into next week. As we take a look at our current radar image, it's pretty clear over Oxford right now. It was a beautiful day. Coming up on Storm Watch, I'll tell you exactly what to expect for the rest of the week.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I, Krista, take you, Jamie, to be my wife.
When we found out that we were pregnant, we were just elated. We were just sitting there waiting for the pediatrician. She said she won't be taking you in as a client.
We are a lesbian couple, but she's just a baby. She's the one you're denying the service to.
On trial for the murder of Iowa woman Molly Tibbetts appeared in court today to enter a plea. 24-year-old Christian Rivera entered a not guilty plea to a charge of first-degree murder. Rivera used a translator in the courtroom. Rivera's attorney, Chad Freese, told the court that his client has both limited education and a limited understanding of English. Rivera had previously confessed to authorities that he followed Tibbetts as she ran down a county road the day of her disappearance. His trial is set for April 16, 2019. Elizabeth Smart's kidnapper has been released from prison. Wanda Barzee was released from a Utah prison today. Barzee is one of 2 people who abducted then 14-year-old Elizabeth Smart in 2002. Barzee received a sentence of 15 years. Her husband and accomplice, Brian Mitchell, was sentenced to life in prison. The condition of Barzi's release included reporting to a probation officer, not leaving the Salt Lake City area without permission, and registering as a sex offender.
A well-known surgeon from Newport Beach and his girlfriend are accused of drugging and sexually assaulting 2 women. Grant William Robichaud and Sarissa Laura Riley have been charged with several crimes, including rape by use of drugs or anesthesia, assault with intent to commit a sexual offense, and possession of controlled substance for sale. Southern California authorities believe that there could be even more victims. Investigators found hundreds of clips of women in various states of consciousness, followed by alleged non-consensual contact. Both defendants maintain their innocence and each paid a $100,000 bail last week. They will be arraigned on October 25th. President Trump arrived in North and South Carolina today to assess the federal response to Hurricane Florence, which hit the states last week. The president commended those who have been assisting with the cleanup and encouraged them to keep up the work, claiming there are still dangerous conditions for Carolinians. At least 36 people have died as a result of Florence, and the Carolinas are still flooded. President Trump told the families of the victims that America is grieving with them.
A gunman opened fire this morning in Madison, Wisconsin suburb. The suspected gunman entered a building housing several businesses in Middleton, Wisconsin, and fired shots. Middleton police say 3 people were wounded in the shooting. The suspect was shot at the scene by responding officers and is at a local hospital now in critical condition. The 3 victims are being treated for gunshot wounds with their conditions unknown. The motive for the shooting is not yet known.
Sony plans to release a revamped model of the iconic gaming console on December 3rd, the company announced today. The game system, called the PlayStation Classic, will retail for $99.99. This new version is 45% smaller than the original and will include 20 preloaded games. The console will come in its original packaging with 2 replica controllers and slightly enhanced graphics compared to the original version. This release comes nearly 25 years after the original version went on sale. Multiple sources have confirmed that Maroon 5 will be the halftime performer for the 2019 Super Bowl game in Atlanta, Georgia on February 3rd. The group's collaborations with artists like Cardi B, SZA, Future, and Kendrick Lamar create the possibility for some guest appearances during the anticipated show. Public response to this decision has been varied. A spokesperson for the NFL would neither confirm nor deny this report, stating that it is a long-standing tradition to speculate about the Pepsi halftime show performers and that they are still working with Pepsi to produce another, quote, epic show.
Well, Annabeth, the sun just keeps on shining here in Oxford, and it doesn't look like the heat is going anywhere.
Cameron Sidley will let us know if any rain or cooler temperatures are coming to town in her extended forecast. Up next on Storm Watch.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Did you put a new dent in that?
This one? No.
Were you texting and driving again?
Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
I got some Oxy after I hurt my neck. First, I took them to feel better. Then, I just kept taking them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Hey Rebels, happy Wednesday. It was a beautiful day here in Oxford, but it was a hot day here in Oxford. As we take a look at our current temperatures, we're at 92 degrees, mostly sunny with some light winds and 0% chance of rain. So basically it's just hot. As we take a look at our satellite image, you can see pretty much no clouds over Oxford right now. Again, just very sunny outside. As we take a look at our current temperatures, you can see we have 92 in South Haven, Oxford, and Holly Springs, 93 in Corinth, and 95, the hottest in Tupelo. So you take a look at tomorrow's temperatures, it's going to be pretty similar to today. We have 94 in Oxford, South Haven, and Holly Springs, 96 in Corinth, and 95 in Tupelo. So again, very hot day. As we take a look at tonight's forecast, it's going to drop down to 70 degrees, clear skies with light winds. So overall, it's going to be a really nice night tonight. As we take a look at tomorrow's forecast, again, it's going to be hot, 94 degrees, sunny, and some light winds. So again, a nice day here in Oxford. As we take a look at our 5-day forecast, you can see that nice weather won't last for long. We have Friday at 89, Saturday at 84, Sunday at 80, Monday at 84, and Tuesday at 86. So it'll be warm, but expect some thunderstorms. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Cameron. After a tough loss against Alabama, see what kind of team the Rebels will face off against when they take on Kent State.
And the Rebels men's basketball SEC schedule is set. Find out how many games will be nationally televised. Up next on Sports Watch.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Welcome to Sports Watch. I'm AJ Norwood. After a tough loss to the Tide last week, the Rebel football team is looking to wrap up its 3-game homestand with a win against Kent State. This will be the first ever meeting between the Rebels and the Golden Flashes. Under first-year head coach Sean Lewis, Kent State is 1-2 with both losses coming from Power 5 opponents. The Golden Flashes are averaging 395 yards of offense per game as both the air and ground game are pretty balanced. The Rebels are no pushover, though, as they have the likenesses of Jordan Ta'amu and the Nasty Wideouts. The game will be played at 11 a.m. in the Vault on Saturday and will be televised on SEC Network. Earlier today, the league office released tip-off games and TV designations indicating that the Ole Miss men's basketball team will play every SEC conference game on national television. The Rebels will be televised 14 games on SEC Network. Kermit Davis will take the reins for his first year as Ole Miss head basketball coach, as he looks to improve on a 5-13 record in conference play. Big games to look out for: Kentucky on March 5th and Auburn on January the 9th. Ole Miss will begin their SEC play on the road against Vanderbilt on January 5th. The Ole Miss men's cross-country team streak continues as they rank 30th in the USTF CCCA national rankings, making it the 20th appearance by the Rebels. The Rebels have been on a roll, being that they haven't been unranked since week 6 of the 2015 season. Ole Miss was ranked in the first 3 polls of the 2018 season, as well as being ranked for the entirety of the 2016 and 2017 seasons. The Rebels will hit the ground running again this Friday as both the Rebel men and women will travel up to Boston for the battle in Beantown. Ole Miss men's tennis standout Philip Krelvich was nothing short of impressive Monday afternoon after winning his round of 32 qualifying match at the Laguna Niguel Racket Club. The Croatian product defeated Julian Noah Steinhausen 6-4, 6-3. Kreljevic carries a ranking placing him 37th in doubles in the preseason ITA rankings, along with partners Tim Sankolin, who ranks individually at number 14. Kreljevic will advance to compete in the official round of 32 match on today. That's all I have for you today in sports. Be sure to follow us at NewsWatch_UM to stay up to date with all things sports. Grace, Annabeth, back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, AJ. Well, if your favorite letter of the alphabet is ARG, then you'll love the next story.
Stay tuned to see why it will have you hooked. Captain hooked, that is.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
They gave me Vicodin after my knee surgery. They kept prescribing it, so I kept taking it. I didn't know it would be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
Ahoy, mateys! It's International Talk Like a Pirate Day. So for the rest of the day, pepper your speech with plenty of phrases like ARG, land ho, and aye aye, Captain. If you have a parrot handy, place it on your shoulder. Or better yet, grab an eye patch and a peg leg.
This special day was created in 1995 by John Bauer and Mark Summers, also known as Old Chum Bucket and Captain Slappy. But don't forget, this day was meant for fun. Best not to act like a real pirate and pillage, or you may end the day walking the plank.
I mean, I think we used about every pirate phrase I've ever heard today.
I know. I didn't even know that was a real thing. I don't know a ton of pirate lingo.
I don't either, but we're learning. We're learning today. So you know what, Cameron? I wish that we could sail away from Oxford right now because this heat is crazy. What's it looking like this week?
Definitely, I don't blame you. It's going to stay hot all week, but it looks like we'll see some thunderstorms this weekend and early into next week. But again, we'll still keep with those high temperatures.
All right, thanks, Cameron. That is all we have for tonight. Thank you for tuning in to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Grace McClanahan.
Be sure to join us here again tomorrow night at 5 and on NewsWatchOleMiss.com. I'm Annabeth Blakovich. Thank you and good night.